So in previous classes, we discussed about the for loop and also the while loop syntax and some questions on for loop, that is factorial of a number. Then we also discussed about the prime numbers. Yeah. So along with this, some pattern based questions also, I think I have given one question. Did you get this? This one? Yes, you got it. Yeah. Okay, you can show me after the class. We'll check. Yeah, so it's a one interview question. Okay. If we get something like that, then how do we react it? So that is the main thing, which comes with some practice and understanding of how the loop works, execution flows, and all those things. Then that's not a correct way then. Okay, so we'll discuss that. The next one, the next most frequently asked question is a Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series. So what is this Fibonacci series? R- Write a Java program to print first 10 numbers of a Fibonacci series. This is the question. Say, for example, of Fibonacci series. For this question, the expected output will be, anybody, any idea what's Fibonacci series? The series which starts from 0 and 1. Then from the next number onwards, sum of two previous numbers, not all previous numbers, only two previous numbers, is the next number. 0 plus 1, 1. Then these two are next two previous numbers, 1 plus 1, 2. Then 1 plus 2, 3. 2 plus 3, 5. 3 plus 5, 8. 5 plus 8, 13. 8 plus 13, 21. 21 plus 13, 34. So these are the first 10 numbers of a Fibonacci series. This is the expected output. Then how do we write a Java program for this? That's the question. So for that, let us discuss the step-by-step approach first. What is step-by-step process? So for explanation convenience, so I am coming from the last. Okay, so all these numbers are not required. I have some less space. So let me start from somewhere, say 34. How we get 34? Yeah, 13 plus 21. Then can I write 21 plus 13 also? Then how do you get 21? Yeah, 8 plus 13 or 13 plus 8. How do you get 13? 8 plus 5. Then how do you get 5? 3 plus 2. How do we get 3? 2 plus 1. How do we get 2? 1 plus 1. How do you get 1? 0 plus 1 or 1 plus 0. Correct? Yeah. Then how do you get this one? So this is, we don't get from the previous numbers. How do you get this 0? We don't get from any previous. So that's why the first two numbers of a Fibonacci series are not generated by adding any two numbers. So we have to assume. That's why first one, say int x equal to 0 is first number, then int y equals 1 is the second number. Correct? The next. So if I say this is 0, which I am calling it as x, then plus this is y. Correct? Then here, this, if we add these two, we are getting some result. Correct or not? That result, say, let me call it as some temporary variable, which is of type integer. So this is first thing. Then here in first step, this is x and this is y, and result is temp. In a next step, what is happening? So this previous y value is becoming next step x value. Am I correct? Previous y value becoming next step x value. Everywhere it's same thing is happening. Am I correct or not? What is? Then 8 I missed. Okay, it's 5 plus 3 actually. Then previous y value, next step x value. Everywhere it's the same thing. It means y previous y value is becoming a next step x value. Correct or not? Y value will becoming x value. Y value is assigned to x. Correct? Next step. Next step. That is previous step temp becoming next step which value? Y value. Previous temp is becoming y value. Again, temp is becoming y. Y is becoming x and temp is becoming y. Correct or not? So that is everywhere. It is again the same story. Correct or not? Then what's that we have to write? The temp value, temporary variable value is becoming y value of next step. Correct or not? Yes or no? And we want only single output or multiple outputs. Then we have to write the print statement inside the loop or outside loop? Inside the loop. So then first what's the value? It is present in which variable? X variable, correct or not? So here I'll print before we swap only because X value is becoming some other value. That's why before we change the values only, I'm printing the X variable, correct? So here first X variable, what's value? Second X variable, what's value? Next X variable, next 3, 5, 8, 13. And next step also, it is going to happen. That is, this will become 21, this will become 34, and print that. And like that. So it is going to happen because first two numbers we are not assuming. We are not getting from the pattern, but we are assuming them before only. So that's why. So the loop will run for certain number of times. How many times the loop has to run? So we are asking to print 10 numbers. Therefore, 10 times the loop has to run. Yes or no? But one value we are not getting from the series. Therefore, how many times the loop has to run? 9 times you have to run. Understood? Understood. So this question is, so print 10 numbers. Next time they say print 100 numbers. Print 100 numbers of Fibonacci series. From where it has to start? Start from? What's the first number of Fibonacci series? If I asked you to print 5 numbers of Fibonacci series, from where you have to print? 0 only. If I ask print 1000 numbers of Fibonacci series, from where we have to start? 0 only. Starting is we know it. Then, do we know what is 1000th number? No. But if we write logic and run the loop for some 1000 times, will it work or not? Yes. So it is when we know the starting, but when we don't know ending, then in that scenarios, we have to go for a while loop. When we know starting and ending both, then use for loop. When we know only starting, but when we don't know ending, then go for a while loop. So this is the best example for while loop program. Now, after understanding this step-by-step approach, let us go for a while loop process. This is repeated, correct or not? So all this entire thing discussion is these 3 lines only, nothing big there. Okay. So for that same thing, first let us go for int some x variable with 0 value, then int y variable with 1 value. Then followed by what is the next thing? Read some number of times. Read number of times from the keyboard. So this is int n equals to some value. In our scenario, it is 10 because of first 10 numbers. If it's first 100 numbers, then this n value has to be 100. We can read from the keyboard. Then followed by while is a keyword. What's the condition? As long as n less than 10. Okay, so here we have to initialize the value as 1. We initialize the value as 1 and we are running the loop for 10 times. If it is 0, make it 9. If it is 1, make it 10. So this n is just for running the number of the loop for number of times. That's all. Nothing big. Are you understanding me? Yeah, n value is assigned 1 because one time, then second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time, eighth time, ninth time also. So once it runs for those number of times, then we are going to get these outputs. It is just used only to run the number loop for number of times. That's all. Okay. Then inside this loop body, what's the first thing? Print the current x value. Because 0, you have to get the output as first. That's why system.out.println. So print the current x value. Yeah. Then after this, what is that we have to do it? This is called a swapping technique. Okay. The current y value we have to assign to x variable. Yeah. So before that, one temp statement is missing. What is that is? Yeah, this line, first this line. Oh, what is that? Int temp. That temp is nothing but y plus x. After we perform this, assign the current y value to the x variable. Semicolon. Because they are already declared as integer types, no need of mentioning. Then next assign what? Current temp value assign back to y variable. That's it. So this is the Fibonacci series code with understanding of entirely this thing only, nothing different with it. Yeah. Then we may have a doubt whether this will print up to 34 or this will print the next number as 55 or this stop at 21 only. I have a doubt. Then what to do? Yeah, I have a doubt. That will work or not. Before I go for Eclipse execution, I have a doubt whether this will work or not. What should we do? Trace it. So that's why I put that as a doubt only. Let us trace now to understand it. Okay. So I'll go it a little bit slow and more clear. So shall I erase this? You understood, right? Okay, so I'll erase this particular part. Then here, let us trace this more clearly. To start with, first JVM comes to this line. Assume this is inside a method. When JVM comes first line, x is first variable whose value is 0. Then JVM comes next line, y 1. Then JVM comes next variable, n, whose value is 1. Yeah. The next JVM comes to condition check, n less than 10. Correct or not? Then JVM comes to true or false, 1 less than 10. True or false? True. So because it is true, then JVM enters into the body and prints the variable called x. So this is the output. Every time x value should be the output. What's current x value? 0 is output. Then JVM execute the temp. So here is a temp variable. What's the value? X plus y. 0 plus 1. How much? 1 is the temp value. This is the first time. So after this, the next thing what is happening? Y value is assigned to x. Y value is be assigned to x variable. Therefore, it's modified to 1. Correct? The next temp value will be assigned to y. What's the temp value? 1. Therefore, y will be modified to 1. Correct or not? Then next, where JVM should go? Again for the condition check only. Again for the condition check. Did we discuss while loop or not? Syntax. We didn't discuss while loop. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm under impression that we already discussed it. No. So that's why when to go for while loop and all, I am getting a doubt. Okay, you. Okay, okay. Yeah. So, mm, okay, we'll complete this. I'll explain the syntax once again. Yeah. When it comes to temp value will be assigned to x variable. This one is sorry y variable. Then 1 is assigned to 1. The next here inside this while loop, uh, it is improper order actually. So then n has to be incremented actually. To control the loop, n has to be incremented. So n equals to n plus 1. So already n is declared as integer type. Okay. Then current n value is how much? 1. The next n value is 2 because of this line. Then JVM goes to again while loop condition only. It's condition only again. So this condition means again 2 is less than 10. Correct? True. Then enters into the body, print latest x value. What's that? 1 is the output. So this is output. Then goes for next temp value is x plus y. What is 1 plus 1? 2 is the latest temp. The next y value will become x. That's why it is 1. Y value will become x. Then temp value will become y. It will become 2. Then n will become plus 1. Becomes 3. Then goes for condition check. 3 less than 10. Again, true only. The next step what? Print the latest x value 1. Then next what? Temp will become 1 plus 2, 3. Then y value will become x 2. Temp will become y 3. Then n becomes 4. 4 less than 10. True. Then current x value 2 is the output. Then x plus y 5. Are you getting me? Or am I going fast? No. The next y value becomes x. Then temp value become y. N becomes plus 1. Then 5 less than 10. True. Then print the current x value 3. And temp will become x plus y 8. The next step x becomes y and y becomes temp. Then n becomes 6. 6 less than 10. True. Then print latest x value 5. The next 13. Next step 8 becomes 13 becomes 7. 7 less than 10. True. Then this will become 8 is output. The next 21. So here it becomes 13. It becomes 21. This will become 8. Then 8 less than 10. True. Latest value 13. Next value 24. Sorry, 34. 34. Then next this will become 21. This will become 34. This will become 9. 9 less than 10. True. Latest value 21. This will become 55. Correct? Then this will become 34. This will become 55. This will become 10. The condition will become false. Yes. Once it is false, the loop will be terminated. But what's the last output we got? No, last output 21. But what's the next number we want? Therefore, one more time the loop has to run or not. Then what's the change we have to make? Less than or equals to. So here also less than or equals. Then here 10 less than or equals will be checked it. Everywhere equals of course. Then true. Then this will become 30 for the latest output. This will become 88, something like this. 89. Yeah. Then again, this will become 55. This will become 89. This will become 11. Condition becomes false. Then terminates. So by the time we got the expected output here correctly. So therefore, this is how I understand my code and I'll change this condition to less than or equals to 10. This is a Fibonacci series code. Understood? Sure. Yeah. Just after knowing for loop, first why while loop is required. I'm sorry. After knowing for loop, why while loop is required. That is, when it comes to for loop, all the discussed examples that we practiced, print 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, and print even numbers from 1 to 100, print A to Z, and print 1 to 100 in some patterns, or Z to A, count of vowels, all those things, whatever we have practiced. So here, this is the starting, correct or not? This is the ending value. When we know both starting and ending, then we can go for a for loop. You can go for a for loop. But why while loop? Yeah, it is some correct. For example, in one company, there are 100 employees are there. Then print the biggest salary or highest salary. Write a Java program to print the highest salary of 100 employees. Correct or not? It's one scenario. So then for this we can write a loop and check each and every one salary and we can compare and print it. Correct? The next scenario is income in a company. Some n number of employees are there. N number of employees are there. But still we have to print the highest salary only. Still we have to print highest salary. What's the difference? Here we know the count. How many employees are there? 1 to 100. But here how many employees are there? Always the count will start from 1 only. But where it ends with some n. We are not aware. But still can we read the logic? Yes, we can write the logic. So that is where the difference comes. So when we know both starting and also ending, then we should go for a for loop. When you know starting, but we don't know the ending, this n can be 100, this n can be 1 lakh, or n can be 1000 also. So in such scenarios, we have to go for a while loop concept. Yeah. Then what is the syntax? What's the for loop syntax? What is this for loop syntax? For loop syntax is for keyword, then initialization, then followed by condition, then followed by condition, followed by okay, either increment or decrement, then the body. Correct? So this is about the for loop syntax. Then here in while loop also, it is the same syntax in a different way. That is before while loop initialization. Before while loop initialization. Then while is a predefined keyword. Parenthesis. Then condition. Then the loop body with some code. Then at the inside the loop body, either increment or decrement. Preferably last line of code. Preferably last line of code as the increment or decrement. So this is the while loop syntax. Like same for loop initialization, condition, and increment or decrement. Similarly, while loop also initialization, condition, and decrement. So here while is a keyword. It must be in lowercase letters. Then followed by this condition has to be a Boolean result oriented condition. The end result has to be Boolean result. That's it. Then how it is different from for loop? In execution wise, it is nowhere different from for loop. Both are exactly same. First JVM comes for initialization. Here also first JVM comes for initialization. Then JVM goes to condition. Here also JVM comes for while condition. Then one condition is true, then execute the loop body. Here also once the condition is true, execute the loop body. Then after that, go for increment or decrement. Then here also go for increment or decrement. After that, again come back and check the condition. Then here also after this, again go back and check the condition. If condition is true, again execute the body. If condition is true, again execute the body. After that, go for increment or decrement. After that, again go for increment or decrement. Again check the condition. If condition is false, then go out of the for loop. Then similarly here also, go for condition check. After condition is false, go out of the while loop. So in execution wise, both are same. But when it comes to use case, it will be different. So maybe at this point of time, you feel for loop is more comfort and simple. What's the another condition means? Then JVM terminates while loop. Yes. That you can write here now. In for loop also you can write here. In while loop also you can write here. Without initialization? I didn't understand. You'll write one more while loop here. One more while loop, yes. You can write it. Because it is outside, it is accessible here also. But when it comes to for loop variable, if you are initializing with the data type here, then it's not possible to access outside. That's the difference. But when it comes to execution wise and all, both are same. More while loop will be used actually than the for loop. We think for loop is simple, or we generally go for loop only. But as we move to the collections concept, there you will understand what is the exact use case of a while loop. As of now, maybe we go every time to the for loop only. But there will be some situations for loop is not suitable. Then while loop is more preferable. We'll be using a while loop. Yeah. So just to understand this syntax. So even though we know starting and ending, let's go for some simplest examples to understand it. That is, write a Java program to print 1 to 100 using while loop. How do you write it? First, initialize int some x equals 1. Then go for while keyword. What's the condition? Increasing order. Therefore, less than x has to be less than or equals 100. Then the loop body. What is that we have to do? Print the x value. Then followed by, we have to increment the x value to control the loop. That's where x equals x plus 1. That's it. This is the loop code which prints the output of 1 to 100 in separate lines. That's it. Yeah, I'm just telling you to understand the syntax better. Yeah. Similarly, print z to a. How to print it? Int some, okay, we can write any which way actually. So okay, char some ch equals starting from z in lowercase letters, single quotes. Next, while is a keyword. Next, ch greater than or equals a, reverse order. So therefore, if you write like this, the next what? Print of ch, then followed by increment or decrement. Ch equals ch minus 1, but character and integer is not suitable. typecast to char type. That's it. This will print the output of Z, Y, X, and so on up to B, A. This is the output. Yeah. Now this program. Okay. So here, since we know the starting, but we don't know ending. So sometimes print some n Fibonacci series program we have tried it, that n can be 10. Then based on that, our program will give output. That n can be 100, the program will give output. So that's why. So here, based on the input value, we are writing n should be less than or equals to 10. The next part by. So first printing. Yeah, we can use scanner class there. It's necessary. Initialization is has to be there, no, before while loop. Initialization has to be before while loop. The same way, here also we are initializing before while loop. First initialization, then followed by condition, then incrementation or decrementation inside the loop body. So this scenario is incrementation. Understood? Yeah, if you have if you want to control by X, if you want to control by Y also possible only. There are different ways to write the same program. Okay. So whichever you understood, whichever you feel comfortable, you can go accordingly. Yeah, clear? So I recommend you to practice this program by understanding it. Then